Salve discipuli. Today we are going to be discussing Chapter 19's interrogatives. Before we begin, we've got three English examples. So in the bottom left-hand corner, we've got which skater strolled down the street with a longboard? Which is an adjective modifying skater, and this is an interrogative adjective. In the middle image, our sentence says, whose surfboard fins need to be replaced? Whose is an interrogative pronoun here. In the third example, in your top right-hand side, for whom is that barista pouring the espresso grounds into the filter? For whom, like the middle image, whose is also an interrogative pronoun. Let's get started. On your left-hand side, you'll see the Latin forms of the interrogative pronoun. The singular chart has two columns, one for masculine and feminine, one for neuter. And then in the second set of the chart, we've got three columns for plural. Masculine, feminine, and neuter have mostly distinct forms. So let's take a look. Quis is the interrogative pronoun meaning who, and quid is its neuter counterpart. You would translate that as what or which. Quis is the genitive form. When you're talking about an animate person, your translation would be whose. For something inanimate, you would say of what or of which. Quae is dative, for whom or to whom, for something animate. For inanimate, you would say to or for what, or to or for which. Quem, the accusative form, means whom. Quid, the neuter form of the accusative, means what or which. And quo means from, with, in, or by whom when speaking about something animate. When it's inanimate, we say from, with, in, or by what or which. The plural translations are identical to the singular, so we won't go over those. A couple examples in Latin on the left-hand side. Quid vides is an interrogative pronoun. Quid means what, and then vides is present tense for do you see? Quis consilium habet. Who, for quis, habet has, consilium, a plan. Let's move on to the interrogative adjective. On the left-hand side, you'll see the Latin forms have three columns for singular and three columns for plural for each of the three genders. And in fact, you might recognize these forms from Chapter 17 when we were studying the relative pronoun. The forms are identical, however, the interrogative adjective use and translation is slightly different. So let's take a look at the forms. For nominative case, qui, quae, quod, or qui, quae, quae, you'd want to translate these as which or what with the noun following it. Cujus and quorum, quorum, quorum you would translate as either of which or of what, and again, a noun would follow it. Cui and quibus would be translated to or for which or to or for what, followed by a noun. Quem, quam, quod, quos, quas, quae would be translated as which or what plus a noun. And finally, the ablatives quo, qua, quo, and quibus would be translated either from, within, by what, or from, within, by which. Let's take a look at a couple examples. Quod signum vides is our first example here, and quod is an interrogative adjective modifying the noun signum. Quod signum, what sign, vides, do you see? Quae femina consilium habet. Quae is the interrogative adjective modifying femina. So which woman, habet, has, consilium, a plan. And our last example, in qua urbe vivimus. Qua is an adjective modifying urbe. In what kind of city are we living? Or you could also say, in which city or in what city. So here, what kind of is another translation that's perfectly acceptable for either animate or inanimate adjectives. Thank you. Interrogative adjectives have one additional use, and that is exclamatory. So you'll see here, the example doesn't have a question mark at the end, it has an exclamation point. This is to show emphasis, or something that's, wildly unexpected. Quos mores malos isti habent. What terrible morals isti, those men or such men, habent, have. Well, thank you all for tuning into our video. See you guys next week.